Welcome to the A.I.P channel where anything is possible. Well, we'll talk about anything and everything your heart's desire. Tonight, we're going to go back to an old theory. Um, it's been around for millennia. We're going to talk about, I'm going to put it in my little, I'm going to share a picture while we're talking. So the ones that are on YouTube or Rumble, you can actually see. Let's see where that one there. There we go. Yeah. We're talking about the hollow earth theory. There's been many that thought that, ancient stories uh, of giants and, Admiral Byrd was looking for it. It's been many stories told, of a ancient Middle Earth. So we're just going to talk about it. This, I'm sure this one here, I'm sure you heard about. And if you hadn't, I don't know what kind of rock you've been living under, um, but it's one of the ones that was. I want to just ask, like, hey, what do you think? What on this here? What do you think on? Uh, I'll read some on it. It says, from time immemorial, people have believed that there's another world lying just beneath the surface of our planet. To a number of cultures, the ancient Greeks, for one, it's a dark place filled with souls of the dead, but most others early beliefs were metaphorical or mythological, origin. But you know, uh, not just to read everything. Scientists say it's broken in many, let me say this right. The Earth has many layers of unbroken crust and magma and all that kind of stuff. They get the plates moving and come up and you get earthquakes and all that kind of stuff. But they did just find a large amount of fresh water underneath the Earth too. It kind of makes you go, Uh, so it added to some of the possible credibility of it happening. Um, uh, the possibilities, I guess anything is possible. Anything is possible. We are still learning and improving things. That was at one time. The city of Troy. They thought it was a myth until they found it. Stuff like that. Well, no, that's just BS. That's mythology. That is this. That is that. And then you turn around and actually find proof of it, and they were like, And they got to step back and sit and realize that at that day moment they messed up. uh, the first person to ever speculate, I guess, about the hollow Earth was Edmund Halley, as in Halley's Comet. He proposed in 1692 a way to explain compass readings that was kind of, not normal. It's a possible good theory, I guess. It said Halley's theory was that the planet is a series of nested spherical shells spinning in different directions, all surrounding a center core. And his estimation, based on the readings of the magnetic field and what he knew of the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon, Miles could account for inaccuracies in his readings of magnetic. Let's see, I misread that to hell. Based on readings of the magnetic field and what he knew of the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon on the earth, this model could account for inaccuracies of his readings of the magnetic fields of the planet. He also posted that space between each shell may have had luminous atmospheres capable of supporting life. Interesting theory there. And now on this right here was talking about a little, shows a picture. Pretty neat. Halley's strange idea was expanded upon over the next few centuries, tossing out the messy view of multiple spheres for the vision of the entire inner of the Earth as just one, and one impossibly large cavern. Generally, the new view of the hollow Earth is accompanied by a theory of a small sun that hangs in the very center, creating a lush, livable environment on the flip side of the Earth's surface. You know, I've seen Donkey Kong. What was it? Kong versus Godzilla or whatever. You know, they have all the prehistoric monsters and dinosaurs and stuff like that down there. You know, guess it's possible. Anything possible. Regards where it originated, the model of hollow earth managed to grow and survive. In 1818, John Cleese Siems Jr. published a circular number 1 declaring that the earth is hollow. Siems, a veteran of War of 1812 and an unsuccessful trader, soon became maybe the most famous and successful proponent of the hollow earth theory. His initial vision of the Earth's interior was like a simplified version of Halley's multi-layered model, with the exception that Sims' version included holes at the north and south poles which allowed access to the hidden world inside. The holes, his unique addition to the hollow Earth theory, would even come to be known as seam holes. Pretty neat. In his first declaration, Sims proposed to mount an expedition to the North Pole, where he was sure they would locate one of these apertures and gain access to inner Earth. He too believed that the interior of the Earth was not only could but did support life, saying in his book would be stocked with thrifty. The inside Earth will be stocked with thrifty vegetables and animals, if not men. Sims believed that his theory was not science fiction but science fact, and it applied not only to the Earth but to all the planetary bodies. To him, the whole universe was hollow. Huh. Yeah. Possibility. And then here's a pretty cool little letter. Let's share this tab here. Here's a letter right here. The ones that are watching. Actually has his signature and everything. It's pretty cool. I declare the earth is hollow and inhabited within. Contain a number of solid concentric spheres, one within the other, and that is opened at the poles 12 or 16 degrees. I pledge my life in support of this truth, and I'm ready to explore the hollow. If the world will support and aid me in this undertaking. Ohio Lake Captain of Infantry. So he signed declaration right there saying he was going to look. Pretty neat. It says even in the 19th century, his theory was greeted with derision from the public and scientific community, but he would not be silenced. He continued his campaign, giving lectures and publishing letters from the hollow earth, always angling for an expedition to the North Pole that would prove his theory. He said, barreling through the skeptic, Sim was eventually able to convince enough people of the possibility of his hollow earth that in 1822, he and his supporters actually got Congress to vote on funding for his expedition. And the government paid for him to go up there. No, I was wrong. The Grant was shot down, but Sims' belief in the inner earth never died. He continued to campaign for the theory until his death in 1849. He did get some supporters and actually throw it to the Congress. That would have been pretty neat. It'd be pretty crazy if the government paid for an expedition up to the North Pole to see if there's a hole in there. Uh, he said even after his death, his idea continued to thrive amongst believers. He said students and admirers of his work. Uh, Even his own son continued to publish material explaining the increasingly odd theory. Um, One bizarre theory was put forth by a cult leader and a natural healer, Tyrus Teed. I almost said Reed, but there's a T in there. Teed even invented the idea of devising a cellular cosmology. Some days I just can't read. Cosmology. A cellular cosmology. I swear some days I can't read. I don't know what's wrong with me. That placed the entire universe inside a shell. According to T's thinking, humans were actually living on the inside of the hollow earth, looking up at the universe, which itself was an illusion created by a strange solar mechanism. The stars were just reflections of the mechanism's light. T's theory managed to gain some traction that small cult developed around him. He called the Korean unity after T renamed himself Koresh. The Koreshans established extensive colony in Estero, Florida. Why did I know Florida? Only Florida's crazy enough to be in a cult about we living in a Florida has special people, as we'll just say that. They have special people. But most of the community disbanded after T's death in 1908, so it wasn't very long lived. Got a cool little picture of on this one here. On this article part I'm looking at. Both Teed and Sims still have monuments dedicated to their work and beliefs. The location where the Croatian community made their home is now protected as the Croatian State Historic Site, while Ohio's Hollow Earth Monument, I swear I can't read, is dedicated to Sims' work. Even as unbelievable as the beliefs that both they were, the theory the Hollow Earth theory grew in the 20th century. It began to take on an even more supernatural air. Of course, in 1864, Jules Verne published The Journey to the Center of the Earth, which proposed a weird world inside our own. While it was not the first work of fiction to propose such a thing, they say it could be argued that the first such work of fiction regarding the work was inside our own and Dante's poem Inferno. It did show multi layers. If you ever looked at Dante's Infernos, the multiple layers of hell inside the earth, whatever. Burns' work quickly became the benchmark of such fantasy tales, giving steam to a whole subgenre of subterranean science fiction. Many of these stories use the theories of Haley and Sims as jumping off points for tales of weird prehistoric jungles and highly advanced lost race of humans. The 1892 novel, The Goddess of Atfadbar, or The History of the Discovery of the Interior World, uses Sims' model as a basis for a rich interior world inhabited by a race of spiritually enlightened beings. This vision of the Hollow Earth seemed to be one of the prime inspirations of many of the current tropes among modern Hollow Earth theories. I know lots of them, big giants, and even Hitler was looking for it, At one time, they say, possibility. Yeah, here it says modern belief in the hollow earth theory can be a bit hard to pin down, encompassing such desperate subject is the Northern Lights and even escaping Hitler. But despite the variations, a few themes do seem to be common among Hollow Earth truthers. Among most believers, the inside of the Hollow Earth is lush tropical paradise that's likely housed an advanced race of humans, aliens, or giants. And it could have the Nephilim. It could be many things in there. No matter where they come from, they're generally characterized as peace-loving and advanced far beyond those on the Earth's surface. The perfect climate believed to exist in the Hollow Earth is said to produce animals and people that are larger and far more healthier than those on the surface. The inner world is sometimes called or associated with Agartha, a legendary city of the Earth's core, often tied to Eastern mysticism. I've seen, you know, thoughts on this. That especially since uh, you you hear thoughts of ancient asteroid coming down and hitting and knocking out, like, if you use it kind of combined, like they use a younger drivers area theory, and where they think a comet hit and caused everything to cool very rapidly. Well, it put everything back centuries, you know, for sure. It took a little while for them to start building things again like they were. You look at Gopeki Tepe and such sites like that. They're looking at 12, 13,000. And even if you look at some that you look at the ancient Egyptians, some think the Sphinx is that age, and possibly the pyramids. If you want to look at you know, you don't believe the mainstream narrative, some of the pyramids are actually that old. I mean, there's some that believe that actually the pyramids that look rough, that don't look as good as the newer pyramids, is actually from a later people who are trying to mimic their the other pyramids that are already there. That's already basically perfect and great. And then you have people trying to do the same thing, but they weren't able to create as perfect pyramids as the original people did. I guess it's possible. And then you turn around and you add that to the Hollow Earth. There was people there, and they do say that the Earth axis was turned. It's turned over the millennia, and so it could open something up. Who knows? Um, be interesting to see for sure if there was something down there. According to Rodney Clough, who wrote the world top secret "Our Earth is Hollow," he said the shell of the Earth is about 800 miles thick from outside to inner surface. He believes that half the planet is taken up by surface weight, and then there's empty space, and then there's something else. So suspended in the center of the hollow is an interior sun that is divided by day and night sides. If it's believed that Earth is in fact hollow and home to all manner of super race and megafauna, why have we never contacted them or gone there? According to Clough, did I say Cliff earlier? Clough, we have, but in an international banking conspiracy has worked to cover up the existence of the Hollow Earth and hide evidence of any Sims holes. This sort of paranoid conspiratorial thinking tends to another hallmark of modern Hollow Earthers. Yeah, a lot of critical thinkers. They think of uh, there's been so many cover ups on everything else in the world. What's one more? It's uh, you can't blame them from thinking that, because it's happened so many times over and over. They said through the mid 2000s and early 2010s, Clough was a part of a long gestating expedition known most recently as the North Pole Inner Earth Expedition. But interestingly enough, unfortunately, after a number of setbacks, including backers and members of the team falling victim to calamities ranging from cancer to fatal plane crashes, the expedition was put on hiatus. That's crazy. A bunch of teams having all kinds of crazy stuff. It kind of makes you things that make you go, why is all that happening to them people? It could be just luck of the day and luck of the chance, but could it be something else? It could be. So, what do you think on this amazing, uh, crazy theory of lore? Um, you know, is it possible? Um, do we have a hollow Earth? Is there aliens there? Or are there different? It don't have to be another aliens. It could be the giants that built all these megalithic uh, structures on Earth, and when they had a calamity, they went into the ground, which it has happened. Many people have gone in underground. Uh, the last episode, you've seen that with the underground city there in Turkey. So it's a possibility. I mean, uh, eh, anything possible. but but seriously, it's yeah, it's possible. Probable. Is it really? I don't know. Um, do I believe it? I don't know. I don't know. It might could explain some things. We had all these ancient, great, big giants and all this other stuff. Maybe that's where they all went. Um, I mean, there's no doubt we've had giants and large people is talked about forever and ever throughout history. We found skeletons, and for whatever reason they get misplaced by museums and such, or you don't hear about them anymore. So things that make you wonder about why is it such a secret for um, large people? What are they hiding? I don't know. Maybe one day we'll know. Maybe one day we can get into uh, the Vatican archive, and maybe there's proof in there. Who knows? Or maybe we can actually mess around and find the hole going to there. It could be a thin layer of ice going across it. And one day somebody will walk across there and fall through, and next thing you see is King Kong looking at you and going, "Raw." Who knows? We might unlock something that we really don't want to unlock. That's the bad thing. Sometimes we play with fire we don't need to be playing with. They were talking about trying to bring back woolly mammoths and all that kind of stuff. And um, there's a reason they're not here no more. But well, time will tell. Time will tell. But I hope you like this episode. It's another just kind of checking out stories and kind of going through them with you. And like I said, I know this one here, I'm sure you heard of, but just throwing some of the facts out there, and I'm curious of what you think. So please comment um, and let me know what you think about the topic or the episode or whatever you want to talk about. And please like and share and share. And I said share twice. So that means really do it, like and comment and share, and check it out. Check me out on Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, and I'll be on Trouble Minds Radio Network, KUPD Digital Broadcasting. You can listen to me and many other shows on there. Talk about some amazing, great stuff. So for sure, check that out. You might get to hear an episode before you can hear it on anywhere else on there. You maybe, you have to listen to see. It's the possibilities there. Well, I appreciate y'all listening, and as always, just keep on keeping on, and peace and chicken grease. Be good.